Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we look at a very troubling development in the dreaded lurgy response world.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
This is an article on the World Economic Forum, which is a website. Now, who might they be? You may well ask. Well, the World Economic Forum is based in Cologne and Geneva in Switzerland. It's an NGO founded in 1971. The World Economic Forum's mission is cited as, are you ready? Committed to improving the state of the world by engaging business, political, academic and other leaders of society to shape global, regional and industry agendas. That doesn't sound ominous at all, does it, folks? Now, the article itself is titled, Could this lurgy-19 health passport be the future of travel and events? Now, normally I'd brush this off as another lefty fake news, but this is a well-known and respected non-governmental organisation, or NGO for short. We know these are pressure groups, fundamentally, and we know pressure groups get things done, don't they? The government and MPs are terrified of them. Listen to this and I'll show you why this should genuinely worry everyone. Thousands of summer holidays are now up in the air following a series of lurgy flare-ups around the world, with trips cancelled and travellers forced to quarantine when they return home. In mid-July, the number of confirmed cases globally jumped by 1 million in just 4 days. UK imposed a 14-day isolation on holidaymakers returning from Spain after infection rates spiked there, prompting the UK's biggest tour operator to cancel all holidays to that country. Now, at this point, I'd like to stop and just highlight the fact that it's always now. Have you noticed how they're not counting deaths anymore? Now they're just counting infections. Now, as far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone, in the comments, but as far as I'm aware, we're testing more people now, are we not? More and more tests are getting out to people, which would indicate, just out of probability, the fact that more people will be found to be infected with it. Doesn't mean that there's more infections, it just means our detection rate is higher. Am I wrong with that? But anyway, let's continue. After recording its first cases since April, Vietnam closed its tourist hotspot of Da Nang to tourists and evacuated 80,000 tourists from the city. Now, a new health passport app promises to restore confidence in the travel industry, which has been badly hit by the pandemic. Global tourism shrank by 97% in April. I'm not surprised, global pandemic, according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization. A possible solution. Lurgy Pass is the brainchild of one of the World Economic Forum's young global leaders, Mustafa Mokas. So the children are the experts and know everything, are they? Unless you're bloody Samima Begum, obviously. It also involves other YGLs across 5 continents, including Muna Abu Suleiman and Peggy Liu. Lurgy Pass uses blockchain technology to store encrypted data from individual blood tests, allowing users to prove that they have tested negative for lurgy. Now, if you're like me, and you didn't know what blockchain meant, I did the finding out for you. Blockchain, and this is in very, very basic terms, I'm not a technocrat in any way, shape or form, is uneditable digital ledger of transactions. So DNA data, presumably, or your bio data. What would happen is you let them take your blood, all of your personal data would be stored, then copied across numerous computers around the world. So if any one of that block is attacked and anything's tried to be edited or taken, the edit wouldn't correspond with the rest of the block, with all of the other computers, and as such it'd be rejected, effectively making the info safe from tamper. It can't be tampered with. Now, my biggest issue is the blood taking, not the info as such. If they say, let's do this, make a passport for travel as an example, that in the same breath says we will restrict you if you don't give your blood. Where does that stop? Credit scores, ability to claim benefits, get a job, shop for food. This sounds like China plus, doesn't it? I am worried about this. A digital passport will 100% restrict, not enable. That is effectively forcing blood samples, isn't it? Let's read the rest, shall we? Unlike contact tracing apps, Lurgy Pass will not track users' movements. Non-mandatory contact tracing apps have met with only limited success so far due to privacy concerns. Germany, regarded as one of the most successful nations in rolling out a voluntary app, currently has only 16 million users out of 83 million citizens. Experts say at least half the population needs to use a contact tracing app to make it effective in fighting the virus. Are you getting more worried yet? Meanwhile, the governments are faced with a variety of different testing regimes to validate the health of travellers. This isn't enough to reassure tourists or health authorities, says Mokas. Mokas hopes that his app, which is launching in September, so it's already been accepted, will become a standardised solution for airlines, airports and border agencies. So they're restricting movements to start with, but do we think that it's going to end with just movements? Do we really? Because I don't. In fact, I don't think it will even go a week without lots and lots of other restrictions being put on it as well. And eliminate quarantine for healthy travellers. Lurgy Pass could also allow hotels, cinemas, theatres, sporting and contact venues to reopen safely. And there we go. I was right, wasn't I? They're going to actually add going to hotels or cinemas or theatres or sporting events or concert venues. What's next until you can't go to work until you've given blood? You see where this is going? You see why I'm worrying that this is going to be Black Mirror 2.0. Another possible use would be to help restart the worldwide conference and exhibition industry, which has contracted by 60% at a cost of 180 billion in lost revenues and impacting 1.9 million jobs, according to the industry's global association UFI. Lurgy Pass commits to mandatory carbon offsetting for each flight passenger to preserve the environmental benefits of reduced air travel during the crisis. So, like I said at the beginning, wasn't it? This is not to enable people to travel, it's to restrict people from travel. Is it not? That last passage said it all, didn't it? Lurgy Pass commits to mandatory carbon offsetting for each flight passenger to preserve the environmental benefits of reduced air travel during the crisis. Now, what's my opinion? Well, we have to let September till this seems to be rolling out, doesn't it? And it sounds like they are about to totally remove all human rights to enable this. They moaned about voluntary track and trace being nowhere near what they want. What's next is now clear. They want to force. And I don't mean saying line up and get the blood sample. What they'll do is they'll restrict access to things if you haven't. So technically it's not forcing you, but it is. Am I wrong? But anyway, it's definitely something to worry about in my opinion. But I'd like to know what you think. Are we all doomed? I believe everything should be choice, never ever forced. This country's becoming Black Mirror on steads, isn't it? The government are calling us fat, the media are calling us racist, the moaners are calling us everything they can think of, and now they want to force us to comply without actually forcing us. We're having all of our freedoms removed, piece by minuscule piece, and it's happening to the sound of silence. Eerie, isn't it? But anyway, let me know what you think, everyone. I'd like to know your opinion on this. What's next, isn't it? What's next? It's just one after the other. Soon it'll be illegal to just breathe. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share it out, everyone. That really helps me defeat the dreaded YouTube. Stay safe and I'll see you on the next one.